Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 26 of What If Naruto Was Trained by All the Greats at a Young Age. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this all with your friends on your social media platform. I hope you all are having a wonderful night. And if you aren't, I'm so sorry and I hope it become much better for you guys. So just sit back and relax guys. I already posted What If Naruto Was Blamed and it changed him on this channel, so go ahead and enjoy that. And over on Anime King 3, I posted a brand new episode of What If Naruto Awakened the Yellow Rinnegan after his exile, so go ahead and check out that as well guys. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family, and thank you. And yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, Alisa went to the academy as a little girl that saw Kushina, and she was talking about the Red Death, and Kushina appeared. So the little girl started to cry, thinking that Kushina would kill her. As things escalated from there, Alisa was all alone because people were scared to talk to her. But that didn't stop one Hyuga girl to come up to her, as she had the seal on her forehead. She was a branch member. She knew of Alisa because of Hinata. As she asked Alisa, did she really breathe the Hokage's hair? Alisa chuckled and she told her yes, but he wasn't Hokage at that time. We then had a flashback into Yugito's life. Yugito growing up was trained to be a weapon, the man that grew her. He even had a bit of fear towards her, but he never took it to the point of hating her. But he feared her. Everyone else did fear her as well, as she was trained to be a weapon, nothing else, nothing more. As she made contact with Nibi growing up, Nibi was surprisingly calm, and she would help her, even giving her a chocolate so she can protect herself, as she petted Nibi inside the seal, and the both of them became good friends. So with that, she continued her training to become stronger and stronger, as she was put out on a mission to become a real envoy of the village, as she had to go and kill a spy. She came back the next morning as she had the man's bloody headband. The man that raised her then fell ill, as he was dying, and there wasn't anything to do to save him. As he apologized to Yugito, he apologized for not treating her like she was supposed to be treated, because throughout all of it, he saw her as his daughter, and he wanted her to know that. As at that moment she broke down, as she spent the remaining time with him until he eventually died. Skipping to the present, as it was Shikamaru's wedding, everyone was there. All of them enjoying the ceremony, as Ino ended up coughing at the point where the official asked if anyone was against this. As everyone turned towards her, well, everyone knew that she didn't like Temari, but she never said anything else after that. It was Naruto that was officiating the wedding after all. So with that, everything else went smoothly as Naruto started to dance to a couple people around. As Hinata was there, as she was pregnant, sitting down as Naruto was dancing with the other girls around. The place was calm, cool and relaxing. Everyone was enjoying their time. As Naruto asked Yugito to dance, she was surprised. She liked Naruto, yes, she liked him to the point, but she wouldn't do anything to jeopardize Hinata and his relationship, as she knew that something between them would never work, and he loves Hinata too much, so she never acted on her feelings and she would never act on them. But hearing him ask her to dance, she accepted, and she even called him Naruto-kun. He told her he didn't mind. After all, she was one of his precious people. Hinata and Kushina was watching. Kushina said they were a bit too close, as she saw. They mean a bit too close. But Hinata didn't seem to mind. She was just glad that Naruto and Yugito were friends. She trusts Naruto 100%. So yeah guys, that's basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the place and TikTok for yourself. So what is to be in this new episode? Before Shikamaru and Temari could depart for their honeymoon, there was one thing Temari had to take care of first. All you single girls get up here. I'm going to throw the bouquet. There was a rush of a dozen women near the floor to Temari. As Tewa headed up, she noticed Gabriela was still seated with Haku. Are you coming? Gabriela shook her head as he patted Haku's hand. No thanks, I already know my future. Hinata smiled. She remembered her wedding reception. Flashback. Hinata turned her back to the other girls. Ready? Here it come. As she tossed the bouquet. Hey! Ow! Bitch! Ino, Tenten, and Tewaya glared at Gabriella as she held onto the bouquet. You shoved me, said Ino. Me too, said Tenten. What the hell? You're already engaged, said Tewaya. Just want to make sure, said Gabriella with a smile. In the flashback as the girls gather. It was a silly tradition, but they all wanted the bouquet. Tamar turned her back. Go get it, ladies. In her excitement, she threw it a bit further than she wanted to. Yugito had only got up because Alisa insisted and dragged her up there. She was at the back though because she had no wish to fight over as silly. Bunch of flowers with some girl. But the bouquet came straight towards her. She was at the back. As she had to catch it, instead it would hit her right in the face. Looking forward, there was 12 angry girls glaring at her. You got the bouquet, Alisa shouted. That means they're gonna get married, she said. What? She said, confused. What does catching flowers have to do with me getting married? Ino laughed. I guess they don't have this tradition in Lightning Country. Here we believe whoever catches the bouquet is the next one to get married. Though Ino couldn't see Choji, released a sigh of relief. Oh, said Yugito as she looked at the flowers. I see. So, who's the lucky guy? Asked Ino, with a teasing tone. Yugito insisted there was no one she would think of marrying right now. But she held onto the flowers tightly. Time skip. Having said their goodbyes, Tamar and Chikamar climbed into a closed carriage and head out the village. They would spend a week in a little seaside villa for a honeymoon. Normally, Tamar wouldn't travel in a carriage. She preferred traveling under her own power. But it was tradition that they leave in a carriage. They would go to an inn not far from Konoha and stay there for the night. Afterwards, they would continue on their own. The carriage was wide and had cushioned seats. Shikamaru sighed as he released a breath. Well, I'm glad that's over with. Now we can just relax. Tamara pulled the curtain down on the two-door windows. As soon as that was over, she started to pull her kimono down. Who the hell said anything about rest, you lazy ninja? There was a smile on her face. I'm not pregnant yet, you still have work to do. Here? He asked. As the wedded carriage rolled along, people wondered why it was rocking so much. Time skip. 4 weeks later, as we agree, the Blue Hair Ninja placed a massive briefcase on decks. 100 million Ryu in cash, as well as this. A non-aggress pact between our villages, and us not to accept missions from a Lightning Country. Excellent, said the Hokage. Conan frowned at the man's weaknesses. To think a foolish, greedy man like him became Kage. The leader of the Marine expect you to keep your bargaining as well. Of course, I'm happy to hand Yugito over to you. She has served me well, but she has always been a danger. Conan nodded. You have done very well for yourself in your village. Not only will you remove the danger, you will also meet a great profit. Behind her smile, Conan hoped though that this was the first ninja village being destroyed. He will be happy to know that everything is going towards plan. Time skip. November was when fall turned to winter. All the harvests in the field left bare, as the trees started to shed their leaf. The roses started to wither away and would not be seen again till the following spring, as the place would be cold and the winds would pick up. It was a time to ready yourself for the bitter storms to come. Since becoming Hokage, Naruto learned that few of his decisions were significant. That is to say that being Hokage, several of his decisions were vital to the well-being of the people of the village. Most of his decisions were important to the people involved. And when he had to solve dispute between two different rallies in the village, he really hated those, because both parties, they didn't mean the threat, but they were against each other. Usually with the result, one side was very unhappy with him. He tried to be as even-handed as he could, but there were times when his, votes go towards another side and the other side was angry. As he and his little group headed towards the Hyuga mansion, he recalled a conversation he had with Snady, a bit after he became her successor. Flashback to 8 months ago. The two of them were leaving the tower. Snady smiled at him. So how did you like your first day of acting Hokage? Please tell me there isn't that much paperwork usually. He grumbled. She laughed. I hate to break this to you, Naruto, but not every day will involve life or death situations. But in a lot of ways, the smaller decisions you have will be the big ones. What do you mean, Naruto asked? Well, when Orochimaru is attacking the village, it's pretty easy to know what's to be done. But when two groups come up to you, claiming to have been cheated, it will be hard to figure out. I don't see why, said Naruto. I'll just punish the one that is wrong. Or really, said Snady. A man owns a one-of-a-kind sword which he believes was defective. The sword was made by his clan and he has spent many years hoping to unleash the power. Finally convinced it will never be the mighty weapon it should be, he decided to just give it away. A member of a different clan took the unwanted sword and released the full potential. Seeing the weapon now so powerful, The first man demanded that it return to him, saying that it was his in the first place. He just thought that it was defected. The second clan refused to give up ownerships, claiming that the first had given up all right to it. They both come to you demand that the sword is theirs. How do you rule? Naruto gave the situation some thought. He compared the sword to one of his father, more important scrolls. He imagined his mother, thinking that it was a regular scroll and give it away. I would have it return to the original clan, said Naruto. Tsunade nodded. So according to you, I should have removed Gabriella from your mother's squad and placed her in another one of her Yuki choosing. What are you talking about, said Naruto? The example I gave you was about Gabriella. She was a unique weapon. Her father spent many hours trying to help her develop a Sharingan. When he gave her hope that she would ever succeed, he claimed that him and the Uchiha clan was disinterested in her. At which point, I placed her under Kushina. Well, of course, Gabriella achieved the Sharingan, and her father demanded that she be reassigned to a new squad. And I refused. Arrogant jerk. I would have refused as well, said Naruto. Tsunade looked towards him. Why the sudden change of heart, she asked. Well, because Ryuki is arrogant and... Naruto paused. As Tsunade looked at him. So you're gonna base your decisions on personal preference. That's not justice, Naruto. That's playing favorites. What if Gabriella was a member of the Nara clan who had failed to use the position jutsus? Say she was placed under a sensei that was a Uchiha, and he helped her activate her Ginkai. If Shikamaru or Yoshino came to you, wanting her placed on a new squad, after telling you that they had no interest in her, what would you do then? Would you reverse yourself once again just because it was in Nara's? Even if you don't like a particular person, Naruto, you are honor bound to treat them with the same respect you show for everyone else. I guess you're right. He released a depressed sigh. It sounds like being Hokage is going to be even harder than I thought. Oh, it will be, trust me. You're going to have situations where different rights come into conflict. Come and help you when one of the merchants' guild has an argument to one of the clans. You get one side screaming about contract and agreements, and you get one side screaming about clan rights. So what did you do? Asked Naruto. You do the best that you can and try to find some compromise, said Tsunade. End of flashback. Hinata kissed him as she smiled. Thank you for doing this, Naruto-kun, she said. I know this is putting you in a difficult position. As he smiled a little. It's alright, Hinata-chan. I'll do anything for you, and I know how much this means to you. Besides, he looked over to his two companions. I happen to think this is going to be the right thing to do, even if it's going to be a little hard. After all of his stays at the Hyuga compound, Naruto did not need a guard to show him towards Hayashi study. In short orders, he was let in. Hayashi and the other clan members bowed to him. You honor us to this visit, Hokage-sama, Hayashi said in his usual formal voice. If he was curious, he did it well. He nodded to the others present. As you requested, the elders and 4 cadet branch members are here. Thank you for honoring my request, Hayashi-san. Naruto, Hinata, Tenten, and Nechi bowed to him. I knew it was short notice and I appreciate it. I'm at your service, Hokage-sama. Now that you're here, can you tell me the cause for this meeting? He glanced at Nechi and Tenten. Nechi looked at ease, but Tenten was fidgeting. I presume it has something to do with my nephew and his girlfriend. It is. He looked at the elders and Hayashi. They were good people, and he was personally within their debt. And if they were too formal and committed to the traditions that were in the past, that didn't make them bad people. Of course, Naruto never had a cage bird seal placed on him, or lived with the fact that it would be placed on their children. The Hyugas would have never dared to meet that fact, for Hinata married into Namikaze clan. As Kushina had told Hayashi many years before, that she would never admit her grandchildren to have the birdcage seal. Nechi took Tenten's hand in his. Hayashi-sama, I wish to marry Tenten and make her my wife. The news was really shocking to anyone who had seen the two together. Hayashi nodded and even produced a small smile. I am pleased to hear that. I happily approve and welcome her into the clan. But why did you feel to have the Hokage and Hinata present for this? You could have simply told me in private. Neji looked at his uncle calmly. I do not want the cage bird seal placed on my children. I have come here with the Hokage and Hinata-san in the hopes of ending the practice. To Hayashi's right was the 4 members of the main clan. To Hayashi's left was 4 members of the cadet branch. Neji's statement produced reactions from both groups. The elders looked like they were having strokes as they immediately started to shout at Neji about clan tradition and clan loyalty and clan business. The cadet members said nothing at all. It was not their place to speak unless spoken to, but they looked hopeful as they too wanted these seals gone. It took Hayashi a moment to calm down the elders as he looked at Naruto with a frown. Is that the reason you have come here, Hokage-sama? He said, to try and force us to end the practice. The seal is one of our most traditional clan tradition. One of the elders snapped. Neji looked at the elder. Have you ever asked someone whether they actually want it? It's cruel and barbaric, Tenten shouted. I wouldn't use on an enemy. Never mind, children. Everyone, please calm down, said Naruto. As Naruto looked at Hayashi, I give you my solemn word. I did not come here to force Hyuga clan to do anything that he does not want to. I am happy to hear that, Hokage-sama. After all, the Hyuga clan has been loyal to this village ever since the founding. In return, for our loyalty, we naturally expect the same rights promised to us by the first since the founding. Believe me, Hayashi-san, I know about the special rights of clans, and I'm not willing to interfere with that. I am pleased to hear this, given that your own clan took advantage of those rights. Hayashi pointed out. The elder that had spoken before made that point clear. Your mother killed dozens of men in cold blood to protect you, and she was never rebuked for it. If it was not for clan rights, you'd have never made your first birthday. Hayashi turned towards the man as he instantly went silent. The last thing he wanted was for the ties between him and Naruto to be severed. Please forgive that outburst, Hokage-sama. I know you are aware of the value that special clans enjoy, as you are also aware of how much my clan and I have done on your behalf. Hayashi-san, I admit, my mother used the clan rights to protect me. I am also ready to acknowledge the huge debt I owe to you and your clan, not only for your protection, but allowing me to marry my beloved Hinata-chan. As I have already stated, I would not force Hyuga clan to do anything against your will. I am here trying to convince that it's in the clan's own interest to end the practice. Hinata stepped forward. Father, you know how much pain and suffering the seal has caused. It has torn our family in two and reduced most of our clan members' servitude. This is not how a family should be. My daughter, Hayashi said firmly. The seal is necessary for the good of the clan, as well as the village. It is needed to protect the secrets of the Ryokan. That is a lie, said Neji. If that was true, then every member of a clan would wear the seal. How dare you call the leader of the clan a liar? The same man said. Apologize and show proper respect, or I will... As he instantly went quiet. Neji grinned. Or you will punish me by activating the seal. That is the only real purpose of the seal. To force obedience. No, Neji, Hayashi said. Its purpose is to protect the Ryokan. It has always been the main purpose for a seal. In that case, Hayashi-san, I respectfully submit to you that the seal is not worth the trouble it causes. The fact of the matter is, while information can be gained from corpses, it is impossible to artificially create a Genkai. Over the past decades, how many bodies of Hyuga, Naras, main branch Hyugas, and Uchihas that enemies has recovered, yet in all that time no one has ever found a way to artificially create an artificial Kekkei Genkai. In fact, everyone agreed the only way to get one is to acquire a living person and breed. That being the case, what real value does the seal hold? Hayashi frowned. Hokage-sama, is an unfortunate reality that in this world some must lead and some must follow. Success in battle is only possible when there is absolute discipline. Each member must play his or her part for the absolute group to succeed. I agree that discipline is vital to success, but every other clan managed to succeed without going towards corporal punishment. They instead rely on simple family and loyalty and love. I am sorry, Hayashi said, but as a simple, practical matter, I prefer to rely on the seal. I understand many see it as negative or distasteful. Nevertheless, the absolute security it provides has long since been a strength. One, we do not choose to give up. Naruto was very unhappy at what he was about to do now. He hoped that Hayashi would simply see reason. What would you say if the seal was no longer a strength, but a terrible weakness? Asked Naruto. How so? Said Hayashi. Naruto looked over to Neji, who nodded. May I have your permission to perform a jutsu? I presume it's not dangerous, said Hayashi. Not to you, said Naruto. Very well, said Hayashi. Naruto looked at the 4 cadet members. I'm sorry. As he performed 4 simple seals. Pain. The cage bird seal started to glow as they all dropped to the ground, clutching their heads. Naruto quickly released it as it sickened him to have to hurt innocent people. Tenten and Hinata kneeled over Neji as he and the others were still lying on the floor. The elders and Hayashi were standing there dumbfounded. How did you do that? Elder asked. Only Hyuga members can activate the cage bird seal. You don't really know much about seals, do you? Said Naruto. Every seal is both a strength and a weakness. Every seal is a lock, or one sort of another. The strength comes from the fact that the lock will protect and secure. The weakness comes from the fact that any lock can be opened so long as you have the proper key. This was some sort of trick. I refuse to believe anyone outside clan can activate the seal, the elder said. Why? Because the Hyuga originally invented it. So the only person that can figure out it works is a Hyuga. Hyuga, Hayashi said calmly. The Hokage is recognized as a seal master and is trained by Jiraiya himself. We must acknowledge his expertise in this field. But it's impossible, Hyuga said. It must have been some sort of trick. I thought you believed that. That is why I asked Hayashi-san to choose 4 cadet members. If you require any more proof, go pick out any other members of the SEAL. I guarantee to you this is no trick. None of them seem eager to take him up on the offer, which Naruto was relieved for. I acknowledge that you were able to activate the SEALs, Hayashi said. You should aware that I was able to kill as easy as I was able to inflict pain. 3/4 of the Hyugas would be useless in battle if this jutsu was known to our enemies. Rather than being a strength, it would be a liability. Hayashi and the elders looked at one another nervously. Every cadet member would have to be restricted to the village if their enemy could kill them with one jutsu. 3/4 of their number would be ineffective overnight. I trust as Hokage would not allow this information to be released, said Hayashi. Of course not, I would never do anything to put my own people at risk. But the point is, it can be done. Sooner or later, someone from another village will figure this out, just as I have. Especially when they learn it's possible. As Hokage, you can't make this public knowledge, said Hayashi. That too would endanger the village. I wouldn't say a word, said Naruto. But I will, said Hinata. So will I, said Tintin. And then she got back to his feet. So will I. Another cadet member got up as well. I will. And me as well, the other members of the cadet said. Hayashi looked at them like they were mad. Do you realize by letting this information get out, you'll be putting the life of all cadet member in danger? If it means my children will never be able to seal, I'm willing to take that risk, said Neji. To Hayashi's surprise, the others nodded. Hokage-sama, you're destroying my clan's most important traditions, said Hayashi, which only prove that some traditions need to be destroyed. Traditions are man-made, Hayashi-san. No, it just so happened that we come up with a way to activate the seals. I've also come up with a way to permanently disable them. Hinata always wanted the seal to be deactivated. When Neji had came to her saying that he wanted Maritente, that set another fire under her. Not to mention Alisa, new best friend, was a Hyuga branch member. As Naruto worked hard on creating these two jutsus, one that would activate the curse seal, and one that will disable it. I realize this may be a very difficult transition, said Naruto. Therefore, if the Hyuga clan will allow me to deactivate the cage bird seals, I will offer some compensations. What sort of compensations, Hayashi said. I will allow the Hyuga clan to establish a new security force within the village, and I will recognize you as a head. There was silence at the offer. My clan has long sought to create a rival force that the Uchihas dominate. Are you saying that if I agree to your terms, you would authorize a second military force? Naruto nodded. That's right. Currently, the envoy and military police share responsibility on maintaining the village security. I propose that you find a new military force with the Hyuga serving as a core. We can call it the Internal Security Force, or the ISF. You'll receive the exact same funding and have the exact same authority within the village as the military police. The envoy will remain the only organization though dealing with both internal and external threats. Hayashi looked at Naruto. This is something I've wanted since your father was still Hokage. It will greatly increase the stand and power of my clan. Why do you offer it to me now? As I said, it is a compromise, said Naruto. But you do not deny it, Hayashi said. So what will it be? Will you accept my offer, said Naruto, not speaking anything else on that. Getting rid of that seal was a radical step, not one he was willing to take. But if others could activate it, that would be a tremendous weakness. And now, he would have the power to outshine the Uchihas. Hokage-sama, we accept your agreement. So in one step, Naruto destroyed the tradition, while keeping the Hyugas on his side, and creating a new military police. Tsunade would be proud. Time skip. Red flame with a golden circle inside a black square. That was a new symbol for ISF. Ryuki hated it. No, he did not hate it, he despised it. With everything that he had. He despised every single thing about it. And the Hyuga had built it up rather quickly. Soon the European ninjas running around their badge, claiming to have the same authority of the military police. So far Ryuki was concerned, the military police is still number one, and the ISF was an insult to the Uchiha clan. And he made damn sure the Hokage knew it. This is the outrage, Ryuki shouted. Naruto was sitting behind his desk, calm. What is he said? Don't play dumb, you damn well know I'm talking about this fraud, police force you've invented. Ah, you mean the ISF? It is very real, I assure you. Hayashi promised me it will be fully functional in 2 weeks, and I believe him. I demand that you rescind that order, and do not allow this abomination to take place. No. Since becoming the clan head of the Uchiha, Ryuki has not heard that word very often, and he was damned if you'd allow the Hokage to deny him. The very existence of this so-called police force is an unforgivable insult to my clan. How have I insulted your clan by taking steps to better protect this village? We were given right to establish a military police by the second Hokage himself. We consider that to be an essential part of our clan rights. Naruto nodded as he still remained calm. I recognize that fact and I will not deny anything that was given to you by the second. And I haven't. What do you mean? This invention of yours is a direct threat to my clan rights. It in no way threatened the military police. In fact, I've done nothing to the funding or the inner workings of the organization. I have left the military police completely untouched. You have violated your traditional right to enforce the laws of this village, Ryuki said. You are still free to do that. You will just have additional help. We have always acted alone. I demand that you leave us alone and our long-time duty. I hate to correct you, Ryuki, but that is just not so. The military police has never been a sole authority in this village. They have always shared that responsibility with the Anvu. You were never granted the exclusive right to withhold the law of this village. You cannot demand and respect a right that was never yours to begin with. This is an insult, Ryuki said, and I promise my clan will not stand for it. You are free to bring the matter up with the council. What good would that do? Of the 16 members, 3 of them are related to you by blood or marriage, while your first recent addition is nothing but your personal servant. Naruto frowned at that. Haku is not my servant, he's a good friend of mine, and he's about to become your son-in-law, which does me no good at all since he will never go against your wishes. And the rest of the council is just made up of personal friends of yours. I've known most of them since I was an academy student, and being friends have nothing to do with politics. Anyway, isn't that what a Hokage is supposed to do? Build up his support on the council. The point is, the council is nothing but a rubber stamp. You will always find the majority of the forces to help you do what you want to do. Have you ever stopped to think that the reason they support me is because I do a good job and they believe in me? Asked Naruto. The council has nothing to do with any of that. It was all about politics and get what you wanted through intimidations and promise. I will admit this much, you are far more effective Hokage than what I expect a 15-year-old should be. I'm 16 now, said Naruto, and I've had some damn good teachers. Be that as it may, this creation of yours is a direct challenge towards the Uchiha clan, and we will not tolerate it. You know, Ryuki, that sounds awfully lot like a threat. You are free to take it all you want, but know that my clan will not tolerate the Hyugas acting as policemen. He started to walk off after giving a slight bow. Ryuki, he stopped. My ninja wishes to never go back on my word, and I never had. I have never broken a promise. I'm going to make you 2 promises right here and now. First, I give you my word, so long as the Uchiha clan is loyal to me and this village, I will never interfere with your clan or your rights. I will treat this clan with the exact same amount of respect I show every other clan in this village. Ryuki nodded. That was only proper, but he was glad to hear it. And your second promise? As Ryuki looked at Naruto, as Naruto's face darkened. If the Uchiha clan ever betray this village, I'll destroy them. What? Ryuki said. The Uchiha clan betray this village, I will annihilate them. You would dare make such a threat openly? It's not a threat, it's a promise. Anyone that betrays this village will meet the same end. Ryuki gave a fake smile. The Uchiha clan will never betray this village or its Hokage. Naruto gave back a fake smile. Of course not, I never for a second thought that. Ryuki gave a second, respectful bow and left the office. That night, he asked his daughter to return home so he could speak to her. Gabriella had been happy to do so, thinking that the clan had accepted the fact that she joined Haku's clan and was now willing to accept them, but she was dead wrong. I want you to end your engagement with Haku immediately, said Ryuki. Gabriella stared at her father. Father, how can you even ask me that? I have a very hard time making my choice, but I made it. How can you even ask me to go back on that now? Things are changing, Gabriella. Since the Six came into power, things have been far worse, both within and without the village. Haku is no more than a puppet of the Hokage, even if he does has a powerful bloodline. The elders and I agree that you should not marry him. I don't believe this, father. There's no way I would ever break up with Haku. In that case, I will have no choice but to disown you, daughter. You will no longer be seen as a Uchiha and you will not be welcome in this household. She gasped. She never imagined that you would be this cruel. You would disown me for marrying to another clan? That happens every damn year. He told me marrying to our clan just a few months ago. Have you disowned her too? He told me did not marry a clan head that is tied completely to the Hokage. Things are changing, Gabriella. The day is coming when you have to choose sides. I don't need to choose side, father, she said. She held onto the headband that was around her neck. This is my side, and in case you've forgotten, you wear one just like it. So you put your loyalty to the village above that of the clan. I can be loyal to both. The Uchiha clan is a part of the village. We serve the village, not simply ourselves. Of course we do, and that will never change. But a storm is coming, Gabriella, and no one can know what the future holds. You are determined to marry Haku regardless, aren't you? That's right, father. I love him, and I am going to marry him. He looked at her with sadness. Even if he didn't always show it, he did love her. But the clan came first, even before family. In that case, no longer consider yourself as a Uchiha, or my daughter. She stared at him, and she couldn't believe he would do something like this. She took a step back and gave a bow. Who am I to argue with the mighty Uchiha clan? She turned back to him. Goodbye, Ryuki Uchiha. She promised herself she would never come back here. Never again. Time skip. Hokage-sama, would you please marry us? Naruto looked up from the dinner table where he and the other residents were eating. Gabriela had stormed in and dragged Haku out of his seat to talk to him. After a few minutes, they came back into the dining room. I've already agreed to Gabriela. I'm very happy to perform the ceremony. I mean, will you marry us right now? Gabriela said. Now? Said Naruto. As both of them shook their heads, yes. But Gabriela said, Kushina, I thought you wanted to have a big wedding next week. What about all the plans? Your wedding kimono isn't even ready yet. She bowed her head. I'm very sorry for all the plans I have ruined, Kushina-sensei. I really did want to have a big fancy wedding with lots of guests. But I decided what I really wanted to be Mamukai Gabriela. And I want it tonight. I don't want to wait. Kushina frowned. What happened with your father? Gabriela had told her about the meeting and her hopes of fixing the difference between them. He asked me to break my engagement when I refused. He disowned me. He did what? Kushina got to her feet furious. How dare he? The only reason to disown someone is they have committed some unforgivable crime, like murder or treason. I can't believe he would do this just because you're marrying someone he doesn't approve of. It doesn't matter why he's doing it. The fact is, I'm no longer Uchiha. So, I might as well get a head start of being a Mamukai. I'll be happy to marry you two tonight, said Naruto. But are you sure you don't want to wait a few days? I'm sure my mom could set up something and you'd invite guests. I want this done tonight. But there's someone I want to invite. Time skip. So, the two of your time, Teiwaya cursed, not, huh? As Kushina looked towards her, Teiwaya, you do know I have plenty of soap in this house, don't you? Teiwaya shivered at the memories as she nodded. Gabriela smiled. Better be careful with your language, or you know what will happen. Yeah, No, she said. Well, congratulations, I know that you'll be happy. Thank you, and even though I didn't get around to ask, would you be my maid of honor? Teiwaya blinked. Me? Thought that you'd ask Hinata. I mean, we haven't really getting along. I know, but you saved me and Haku more than once. And I sort of hope that we'll stop the fighting over him and become good friends. A bit surprised, Teiwaya nodded. I like that. She actually meant it. They had been teammates for a while now. And even if there were jealousy and fight between them, they were also a pull for respect and occasional liking, especially when Haku was somewhere else. Time skip. It was a very different kind of wedding. There was no music, no walking down the aisle. The only person that wasn't in the mansion that was there was Teiwaya. Everyone else had lived at the mansion. It was like they were eloping. Uncle was also there in a mini skirt and a trench coat. Much to Kushina's irony, the ceremony was small, but the way the both of them kissed at the end, the both of them were happy. Time skip. There was a loud knocking on Kiba's door. I'm coming already, he said. There was Teiwaya standing in ninja clothing, and she looked like she wanted to kick him. Teiwaya, what are you doing here? Right now I'm standing outside. You're going to invite me in or what? Sure. He moved aside. Come in. So, what can I do for you? Why have you been sending me flowers and candy since we did it? Well, I guess I thought that you might like them. I know that. I mean, why do you send them, she asked. Well, he mumbled something. What was that? I said I like you, he said a bit louder. She snorted. Which means you're hoping to screw me again. No, he said. I don't just want to do it. I really like you, and I want you to be my girlfriend. That's crap. I'm not the kind of girl guy I want to be with. As images of Gabrielle and Hinata flashed through her mind. I'm the one they just want to screw and forget about. I don't. I really like you, and I want to be with you. Oh yeah? And why? Why do you want to be with someone like me? Look, I won't pretend I don't want to do it again. You're beautiful, you have a killer body, and you're an animal in bed. Despite your own blunt nature, she actually blushed at that. But that's not it. You're honest and straightforward. You never play the stupid games other girls do. You're fun to be with, and when you're around, things are always interesting. Look, I know that I'm not Haku. I'm real not sensitive type, but I'm a good guy, and I'll treat you good. I just plain like you, he said. He released a depressed sigh. He was sure Haku could have said that more smoothly, but that was just not him. Teiwaya stared at him in surprise. She wasn't sure what she was expecting when she decided to come here. Part of her just wanted to confront him on why he keep on sending her stuff. Another part of her was feeling lonely and was hoping for a one-nighter. No part of her was expecting him to say he liked her. So, you really want to date me? Yeah, he said. Okay then. Wait, what? She nodded. If you're serious, we can give it a shot. But there are two things you better understand up front. I've been played before, and I won't ever let that happen again. So 1, don't lie to me. If you lie to me, it's over. And 2, if I catch you cheating on me, I will cut that thing down there off. Got it? He nodded. I promise I would never lie or cheat. Damn, she's so scary, but so hot. Good, she said. Now, she said as she moved towards him. Take me to bed, and I'll show you what kind of animal I am. A smirk came on Kiba's face. Time skip. 2 weeks passed and the ISF began their operation. There had been no further complaints from the Uchiha clan. Naruto wasn't sure whether to be relieved by their silence or to be worried about it. There was a knock on his door, as Shizune poked her head in. Pardon me, Hokage-sama, but Jiraiya is here, and he insists on talking to you immediately. Naruto nodded. Jiraiya wasn't planning on returning so soon. As Naruto saw the look on Jiraiya's face, Jiraiya did not waste any time. He pulled out a scroll and handed it over. Kid, we've got a serious problem. This is a copy, don't ask me where I got it, but it's 100% authentic. Naruto opened the scroll and started to read it, as his eyes widened at what was there. A non-aggression pact between Akatsuki and Lightning? He couldn't believe any Kage could trust the Akatsuki. They're so stupid to hand over a loyal ninja to them. Never mind, a Jinchuriki. Are you absolutely sure this is real? Kid, if I had any doubts, I wouldn't be here in person. There's no doubts about it. Yugito is about to be betrayed. As Naruto got out of his seat and looked through the window, I have some more bad news. What is it? The Raikage has already sent a messenger to contact her. I'm guessing that he will order her to go back to Kumo. He wouldn't dare. We have a signed contract that doesn't run out for another 5 months. If he breaks the contract with me, it's an insult, not just to me but the entire village. I know, kid, but I'm guessing he thinks it's worth the risk. Naruto looked at the scroll. So what do I do now? Meanwhile, Yugito was standing in a normal spot outside the door, waiting there. As Jiraiya just arrived on sudden, as he demanded to speak with the Hokage, as she wondered what was going on. The door to the office opened and Naruto popped his head out. Yugito, come here please, he said. She nodded as she entered. Once in his office, he told her to sit down. Jiraiya was also sitting down, looking a bit concerned. Kid, this is a mistake. Maybe, said Naruto, but she has a right to know. He handed her the scroll. Jiraiya assures me what is on the scroll is authentic. As she took it and read it, her face did not change. She then rolled it back up and handed it back to him. You do realize I have to report that this information has been stolen from my village. The both of them stared at her. That's it, said Naruto. He seemed far more upset than her. How can you be calm about this? He opened the scroll back and read off a line. The village of Kumo gives up all claim to the Jinchuriki Yugito and agreed to deliver said Jinchuriki to the Akatsuki to do with her as they seem pleased. He looked and stared at her, but she looked completely calm. How are you not upset by this? The fact that the Raikage want me dead doesn't come as any surprise. His fear of me has been becoming stronger over the last few years. In that time, he has assigned me about 8 or 9 suicide missions. I had the grace to survive them, of course, but each time I did, his fear scent got stronger. I know how much you pay for my services, but you could have gotten the Raikage to pay to keep me away for a year. You do realize it's different, right, said Jiraiya. If they hand you over to the Akatsuki, you won't survive. I understand that, but I always understood. As a ninja, my life could end any time. There's a difference between dying because you ran into an enemy that was stronger than you, and there's a difference in being betrayed, said Naruto. Seeing him so upset for her sake gave her a warm feeling. Thank you for caring, but as a lightning ninja, I'm bound by whatever duties my Raikage give me. You are kidding, right? Are you actually saying you're gonna let them hand you over? What else can I do? Tell them no, said Jiraiya. Your village and your Raikage has betrayed you. You owe them nothing, said Naruto. What other choice do I have? You become a missing nin and spend the rest of my life being changed by 100 nins and the rest of the Akatsuki as well. You don't have to become missing nin, Naruto said. I can offer you political asylum and make you a leaf ninja. She shook her head no though. That will lead to a war between Konoha and Lightning. The Raikage may not want me, but that doesn't mean he won't any of the other village to have me. I won't cause a war just to try and save myself. If you won't take my offer and you won't become a missing nin, what does that leave you? It leaves me as another lightning nin, another suicide mission. She shrugged and played off. Who knows? Maybe I'll surprise him again by coming back alive. But neither of them thought that she would survive. Time skip. Is something wrong, Naruto-kun? You've been awfully quiet tonight, Hinata asked. They were getting ready for bed. He shook his head. There's nothing I can discuss, I'm afraid. Even though she was his wife and dearest friend, there was sometimes he had to keep things away from her. Hokage do this. But sometimes she figured out things on her own. Does this have anything to do with Yugito? He felt uncomfortable. A bit for some reason. Why do you say that? So, it is about her. Huh? Said Naruto. She giggled. Naruto-kun, I love you. Well, sometimes very easy to see through. If this had nothing to do with her, you'd have just answered no. So is there anything you can tell me without putting the village in danger? He thought about it. Hinata was very clever, and she'd already figured out something was going on. Maybe she could help him find some way out of this mess. Okay, but what I'm about to tell you is that S-rank secret. You can't share this to anyone else. Of course, she said. Alright then, Jiraiya brought in some really troubling intelligence, as he gave her a quick rundown and Yugito reaction. I see, she said. I just wish there was something I could do for her. Hinata was silent for a few seconds. Maybe there is. She gave him a rather odd look. There's something I need to tell you, she said. Flashback a few days after the wedding with Shikamaru and Temari, as Naruto had just returned back from the tower with Yugito, as he went to his own room. Yugito was going to her room when she saw Hinata there waiting for her. Yugito-chan, can I have a word with you? Sure. Once in the room, Hinata faced her back to the door as the door was shut. She wasted no time. Do you love my husband? What? Do you love my husband? Love him? She tried to laugh, but it came out as a hollow chuckle. I respect him and think very highly of him. I like him, but love him? I imagine Julki from a foreign village. Fall in love with the Hokage would be silly, like a romantic novel. Whether a feeling might seem ridiculous or not, it has nothing to do whether the feeling is real. I watch as you dance with him, and I notice the way you look at him sometimes. You hide it well, but I can tell you care for him a lot. Yugito has faced many difficult situations. The worst has been the slow death of her sensei. This had to be the second hardest. Even if I felt something, I would never act on it, never. He's a married man, and I know how much he loves you. I know you wouldn't. If you were the type of woman that would, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. I would shut down all your chakra points, and then shave off all your hair. Yugito blinked. Are you serious? Hinata smiled. Ask Ino about that sometime. But despite your feeling, I can see that you're still respectful of me and my marriage. I respect you as well, Yugito, and like you. She paused for a long moment. Did you know that he can't have more than one wife? The same law that Shinzo is under. It applies to him as well. Yugito felt her face becoming red. What do you mean? I mean just what I said. Naruto can have more than one wife. When he was away, I decided if it was for the good of the village, or for his clan, I would accept it. I was certain of my love for him and his for me. And from then, I have grown more certain. When he finally came home, he made me a promise that I would be the only one he ever married. I won't lie, that promise made me very happy. But I'll be willing to release him from it under the right circumstances. What sort of circumstances? It will have to help his clan or the village, and she will have to love him. I would never release Naruto from his promise. To give in to someone that is only trying to use him. When I was a little girl, Kushina told me that I would have to give everything for the sake of my love. And I understand now she was right. Only someone that loved him would do anything to be by his side. Tell me, would you bleed for him, die for him, walk through fire for him? Would you give everything you are and ever could be, just to be with him? I don't know, she said. I don't know what it is I feel for him. I don't know if my feelings are that strong. As his ninja bodyguard, I'm ready to die to protect him. But to give him everything, I just don't know. Stop it. You already know. You're just too lazy to admit it. A voice said to her in her head. Well, that's honest at least. Just think about it and try to understand what you're feeling. And just so you know, he doesn't know how you feel, and I will not tell him. With that, she left the room. End of flashback. Yugito loves me? Yes. Why didn't you tell me sooner, Naruto asked. Naruto-kun, are you upset at your wife to the point of the fact that another woman has feeling for you? He looked a bit embarrassed. So, what am I supposed to do about this? Do what you think is best. Up to ask her to marry you. But Hinata, I made you a promise that you'll be my only one. In Yugito's case, I release you from your promise. She blushed a bit. I also give you permission to show her physical affection if you wish. You expect me to seduce her? Naruto said. Hinata burst out laughing at the expression on his face. Naruto-kun, do you even know how to seduce someone? As Naruto started to blush. What I mean is, if you have to kiss or hug her, I understand. I give you my blessing. Hinata realized that she spoke in a lot of revelation for the night. She went to get some sleep. Naruto was wide awake in bed for some time. Time skip. Next morning, Naruto was in his office when Jiraiya burst in unannounced. A messenger from Lightning just arrived at the gates. He will be here in a few minutes. Jiraiya, get downstairs and meet him. Tell some dirty jokes, do the shuffle. Keep him away for an extra 5 minutes. Jiraiya nodded as Naruto got on the phone and dialed the hospital. This is the Hokage. Please, put me through to my wife. Tell her it's our emergency. Time skip. Annoyed, looking Lightning Ninja entered the office as Jiraiya was right behind him. And it turned out the girl was actually my date twin sister, said Jiraiya, as he laughed at the punchline. The man managed a restrained laugh, even though he seemed to not find the joke that funny. Welcome to Konoha. May I ask the reason for your visit, Naruto asked. I bring a message from the Raikage. May I deliver it to you in private? Lord Jiraiya is not only a Sanin, but also my sensei and a trusted friend. Whatever you have to say to me can be said in front of him. The man was rather unhappy to hear that, but he couldn't do anything about it. He handed over two, seal, message Hokage. One of these is a message from the Raikage. The other one is a sum of money. Naruto read it for a stroll, and he played it off brilliantly. What the hell is this? He said. I don't care if he's returning my full payment. We have a contract, I expect him to honor it. The man looked nervous, but he answered in a respectful voice. The Raikage appreciated that fact and humbly apologized for the inconvenience. He hoped this would not affect the peaceful relationship between our villages. Breaking a contract is an insult, not only to me, but the entire village. The ninja offered a deep bow. The Raikage begs you not to believe it as such. Unfortunately, a crucial mission has come up. Only Yugito can perform. For the good of the village, the Raikage has no choice but to call her back. No choice, huh? I wonder about that, said Naruto. The ninja bowed again. With all due respect, Lord Hokage, can I speak to Yugito in private? Naruto gave permission and have the man shown to a private small room. As he was in the room with Yugito, these are seals from the Raikage. Do you acknowledge them as authentic? I do. Read the order, then destroy them. Where are you going? My mission is now complete, he said. My mission was to leave the moment you see it as authentic. With that, he left. The condemned is left alone to face her end, she thought. She read it, and she then burned it. Hinata was in the office as she had her beacon activated. She's been given written letter. As you expected, Naruto-kun. Naruto-kun, she's been ordered to go take the rain and assassinate the Kage there. No, that's a suicide mission. Being told to kill a Kage in his own village. Not that she's likely to ever get that far. She's coming back, said Hinata. Could the two of you wait outside? I want to talk to her in private. Hinata-chan, are you sure that you're okay with... She cut him off by giving him a quick kiss. I'm sure, Naruto-kun, she said. As the both of them left, Yugito entered the room. Hokage-san, I am ordered to leave the village immediately and proceed on a classified mission. Will you please say goodbye to everyone for me and have my belongings sent to Kumo? You have all been very kind to me. Please tell them that I'll miss them. And I especially thank you for the kindness that you have showed me. She turned to go. Will you marry me? Yugito froze. But guys, it'll be in this episode right here. If you want to take part of this, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to get posted. But I'm out for now. Remember to go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Awakened the Yellow Rinnegan after his exile, guys, and enjoy that over on Anime King 3. And I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Blamed, and it changed him on this channel, so go ahead and enjoy it as well. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. But I'm over now. See you guys soon. Peace.